Hello, I'm Andy Furco from the University of Minnesota in the United States, and I'd like to share a few words about measuring and evaluating the institutionalization of service learning. Research studies have taught us much about the elements that are essential for advancing the institutionalization of service learning in higher education. And we have tools available now to help us determine how institutionalized service learning is at our institution. First of all, it's important to understand what we mean by institutionalization. Institutionalization is not how long a service learning initiative lasts at a university, but it's more about how embedded service learning is in the culture of the institution. It is possible, for example, to have a long-standing institution-wide service learning effort that remains marginalized. To be institutionalized, service learning must become a core and central feature of a university's work. This chart by Michael Kramer offers a useful way to compare a marginalized practice with one that is institutionalized. While a marginalized practice is occasional, temporary, and at risk of going away when new educational reforms arrive or the institutional leaders or institutional agenda change, an institutionalized practice is one that is seen as routine, widespread, legitimized, expected, and permanent. Research studies have identified 22 elements that promote the full institutionalization of service learning in higher education. The more that these elements are present, the more fully embedded they are in the institution, the higher the degree of service learning institutionalization. These 22 elements fall into 5 categories. The first category has to do with having a clear philosophy and mission for service learning. This involves having a clear definition for service learning and a strategic agenda for moving it forward. The second category focuses on having strong faculty members and professors who are deeply involved and who give support for service learning. Teachers and professors' involvement and support are considered the most important and strongest predictors for furthering the institutionalization of service learning in higher education. This dimension includes ensuring that professors have awareness of service learning, they play a leadership role in its advancement, and are provided with institutional incentives and rewards for engaging in service learning. The third set has to do with having a strong student involvement and support focus, including providing opportunities for student voice, as well as engaging students in opportunities that allow them to participate as leaders and advocates for the advancement of service learning at the institution. The fourth set of elements highlight the importance of having a high degree of community involvement and support for service learning in ways that secure broad agreement between the university and the community regarding the goals and purposes for service learning and the active involvement of community partners in the advancement of the university's service learning agenda. And the final and fifth dimension has to do with having strong institutional support, which includes having in place a coordinating entity to lead and facilitate the service learning agenda, having a policy-making entity that recognizes the value and centrality of service learning to the institution, and having appropriate levels of funding, staffing, and administrative support for the work that's needed to fully institutionalize service learning across the campus. Each of the 22 elements found within the 5 categories is essential for achieving full institutionalization, and they are laid out in this rubric called the Self-Assessment Rubric for Institutionalizing Service Learning in Higher Education. This measurement tool places each of the 22 elements on a 9-point scale that is organized by 3 stages of institutionalization development: critical mass building, quality building, and sustained institutionalization. This tool provides an opportunity to assess the status of each element along the 9-point scale and provides a diagnostic that allows us to determine which elements of service learning institutionalization are advanced and which require more attention. It also helps us to determine whether our service learning efforts are at the critical mass building stage, the quality building stage, or at the sustained institutionalization stage. This measurement tool, which has been used by more than 300 universities globally, can be used to evaluate the status of service learning institutionalization at a particular point in time, or it can be used as a pre-post tool that can measure change in the level of institutionalization over time. It also can be used as a planning tool by identifying the elements that are at a more advanced institutionalization level and those that are less advanced. We can apply our resources more efficiently and effectively by targeting our resources to the elements that are needed to achieve the full institutionalization of service learning across the elements. For more information and to obtain a copy of the self-assessment rubric, please visit the Uniservitate website, where you will find English, Spanish, and Chinese language versions of the instrument. Thank you for listening.